Welcome to Petrol Heads London, and we're here not just with my car but on a real British head-to-head Aston Martin V8 Vantage as well. And for me, this is a car I always wanted, and I shied away a bit from it because I was worried about, well, the British engineering, but then I bought that, so that's a ridiculous comment to make. But actually one thing that worried me was maybe some of the build quality and actually the servicing. And I'm here with a friend and his one who would convince me totally the other way, and he's got some very special plans as well in terms of what he's doing with Aston Martin. So let's have a look around them, see how they compare. I know I've picked up a few things on my car in the past around maybe finishing and quality like that. These cars, I love the little things, like I'll show you in a second, but like the gull wing swing doors, I mean, stop you grounding them out on a curb. I mean, let's have a quick look around it and see what we think and see how they compare. One of the things you've got to love about the design of this car is this is something that Aston Martin do. They have these doors that just kick up slightly. It's really difficult to actually demonstrate it here, but that stops you curbing it out. And it's just, oh, like the fact I love the giant bonnet on this one that's one clamshell unit. Things like this I think are just beautiful design. We're also commenting on the different air vent intakes on the side here compared to the Jaguar, which look a little bit plasticky, and these ones actually really nice, kind of almost like aeronautical style on there. So as you will have seen from some of my videos, if you watched them before, I always, well, not complain, but try and justify why this boot is any good, because it's the most odd and weird shape. And I suppose if you're comparing this from a practicality point of view, here's the V8 Vantage boot, and it is, well, I mean, my estimation, it's bloody ginormous in comparison. And you've got a lot more space, and also this kind of shelf at the back, which is much, much better. So I've just jumped inside with my man Filippo, whose car it is, and I mean, the difference in this one though, so we're talking about this being a head-to-head, right, is just some of the build quality. I don't know if any of you have known, but one of the things that Aston come with is a Swarovski crystal key. Okay, you don't get that with a Jaguar. This is supposed to be your going out key. There's another one that you can use when in normal driving conditions. Looking at the dash, it's got this beautiful aluminium sort of like surround on it, and just it's just a real experience getting in an Aston Martin. And I think that's where it kind of lacks in the Jaguar. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump in my car as well, and I'm going to get Filippo's opinion on that, because he's actually not been in it yet. So let's see how he thinks that compares. So said it's a bit more kind of an experience. I mean, you get also the door plates here. It tells you who built it. I think mine was probably mass produced in a factory, so it's very different. So we've jumped into my car now, so I'll be really interested to see what Filippo's opinion is on this. My view is I think it feels a little bit more modern, as you'd expect, because it's a newer design. And this man's getting a very special new car soon, so I'd be interested to see what they've done with that. But yeah, more to come on that one soon. So what's your initial reactions? What do you think?
It's very similar to an AMG GTS.
Right, okay.
I think, from here. But I love the fact that these console go all through.
Sweeping through, yeah.
Yeah, which I like.
And lots of aluminium, but not quite to the same standard as the
okay, which is good.
As the Vantage, so very different. And obviously I've got bugger all space here, but that's obviously, we're kind of comparing a bit apples with pears, because this bad boy out here is the coupe, and so therefore has a bigger boot, and it has also a lot of he's just trying to find the plasticky bits, which, as I know, Jaguar are very good at. So yeah, there's a review on one of the cars that I point that out. But this, as being a coupe, has a lot more space and is a lot kind of bigger behind the seats, which is much better as a kind of GT car. One of the first things you realise when you look at these two is they're actually really similarly pegged. And obviously this is a V8 and I've only got a V6, and it's a much faster car, but we were just talking about 0 to 60s, and I think this is about 0.2 of a second slower, and we were debating on the weights as well. We think mine might be a little bit heavier, but it seems unclear when we look at the stats. If you look at the Vantage, it looks a little bit lower, a little bit squat and a little bit wider, but actually they're quite similar in terms of size of car. We have also decided, we've just been to have them washed, although it's a typical British day, which I suppose for a British head-to-head, we couldn't hope for better. So it's now raining on our nice clean cars, but this definitely sounds better, and so do the guys in the garage when we're having them clean think so. I've always been in love with Aston and their design, and that's one of the reasons that drew me to this car, is because I just think it's a beautiful looking car. Now, we were debating whether we think it's actually the same designer who designed both of these cars, so that will show why it's kind of got that aesthetic time, and we've chosen the worst day to do it. But it's quite good to do this kind of British head-to-head, and one thing we both talk about is, A, the reason we bought the car is the passion. I asked him the question, what didn't he like? And he kind of said, well, how I feel as well is you buy it because of the experience that every day you jump in it and start it up, you want to enjoy it. So it's difficult to find things you don't like, although I have found some plasticky bits I don't like in mine, as he pointed out to me as well. But for me, this kind of head-to-head I think was interesting because one of the things I haven't covered in depth, but we'll talk about in a review, is actually the build qualities are really good, and they get a bad reputation for it, which probably isn't well founded. And there are some things with the Jaguar which, you know, the little bits of finish and stuff that aren't great. I remember bumping into a guy in an Aston Martin dealership once that put me off buying one because he said the paint finish was bad. This is flawless, it really is. I can't find, you know, anything that would put me off on this car. I think the other thing is around servicing costs. They have more regular servicing, they do tend to be a bit more expensive, I think, but we'll talk about that in the review as well. But from a head-to-head point of view, it's quite good just to see these two cars, and like, I don't think I'm here to try and make up your mind for you. I think it's an emotion thing when you're buying a car like this as well. It's not just about how fast it goes or if it's quicker. This one's louder, obviously, as we've discussed. I think they're just both beautiful cars. I hope you found this little head-to-head fun. It's something we've been trying to do for a long time. Thank you for watching Petrolheads London. Loads of great stuff to come, especially something with this man which I can't talk to you about just yet. Please remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.